Good evening, Hobby World. Thanks for joining us live tonight for episode 52 of Personal Rips from Hobby Chat. Joining us tonight, as always, is Ken from Beans B Card Blog, and I am Herman, aka 3B Collections. We're here every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern to talk about our hobby and yours. Feel free to join into the conversation and chat. Also, joining us tonight, we have Jenny Miller at Jenny Miller 521 on Twitter to talk about her collection, her hobby, and how she collects. Welcome, Jenny.
Hey,
We had a little video difficulties, so we'll just be hearing from Jenny tonight. But that's what's important. So she'll be here, like I said, to share her collections. Won't be able to show anything, but at least we can hear about it, and maybe in the future we can get this straightened out, and we'll do another one and show off what she has. How you doing, Ken?
I am freaking fantastic today. You understand why. We'll
Oh
talk
yeah,
about that more another day, but I am
yeah.
fantastic. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Glad to have Jenny in here tonight. She had some issues come up last week and couldn't join us, but we got to talk chickens, so hey, we're good.
I feel like it was our most popular show. I mean, hell, we even got a shout out on John's show, that '70s card show. He even mentioned it.
I missed that. I'm gonna have to go back.
And went ahead. He did a mail day video, I want to say, late last week, and even mentioned the interesting, interesting show we had. I mean, seriously, we're not taking this. I mean, we're not taking this too seriously. We're not editing this. We're just here to have some fun and talk about cards. Let's not be so damn serious, people.
Yeah, I suck at editing. That's why I do live videos. I'd rather stumble on my words and go with what I got than to sit here for 2 hours and try to edit. So
I think it's more fun on my videos when my camera falls over and I cuss. I get more
yeah,
comments out of that, I think, than I do actually anything else. So,
like
hey, why
like
mess with
George
a winning formula?
like George on his hobby drive when the camera falls off the phone falls off the dash.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
comedy. It's cards. We can't take ourselves too seriously, for crying out loud. It's a hobby.
yeah. I mean, when it stops being fun, it's time to stop, right?
Indeed.
All right, Jenny. Well, glad you could join us tonight. And welcome. We'll go ahead and get in. Go ahead, and just get into it. If you wanted to just kind of share your backstory as to how you started collecting, when you started collecting. Just
well, I started collecting as a kid. That was basketball because I played basketball. But then I got out of it, boy, probably after a couple of years. And then in 2014, I was at a garage sale. They had three 8 foot long tables, all kinds of unopened product, open product, in the single row boxes. And I walk up to it and I'm looking at it, and this guy's standing there and he says, "Oh, it's all worthless. It's all from the 90s." I don't know anything about junk era at this point, and nothing's priced. So I asked the woman, I said, "What do you want for everything?" She said, "Well, it's my brother in law's, $20." I said, $20 for all of this? She said, "Yeah, I want it out of my garage." All right. So I load up the back of the car. I don't know, it had to have been at least 50,000 cards. So I get home and
Damn.
I'm looking through this stuff and I'm ripping it open. Well, I end up pulling 7 or 8 '93 SP Jeter cards out of this,
oh,
not knowing that I just ripped all these hobby boxes of it that were probably worth a lot more unopened. So I was like, all right, well, this is interesting. I made a lot of money off of that then because I sold them all and kept one for me and one for my niece. So I was like, all right. So that was intriguing to start going to the store and buying packs and thinking I'm going to hit big like that every time, and that's not the case. But then in the meantime of opening all this, it took me the whole summer to open all the products that I had because there was, 1990 tops and 92 leaf and just all kinds of unopened stuff in there. And so I deal with an anxiety disorder, and I ended up discovering this summer that one of the biggest things that helped me was opening packs of cards, because your mind is so distracted and you can't have a panic attack. At least I can't have a panic attack when I'm opening cards. I'm sorting cards. I'm, distracted that way. So that really sucked me into the hobby too, because it was like, boy, all these years of anxiety and never finding anything that was working. Now I'm like full into these cards. So then I just kept buying collections. Anytime I'd see something, hey, they want to get rid of all these junk era cards for $50, $100, I'd go buy them all because it was set building then. Yeah, I didn't care about what, I don't care if it's junk era, it's a bunch of 87 tops. It was the sorting. It was the time killer for me, the distraction.
Yeah.
Well, then I've kind of become like Bo, where we have a basement full of cards.
Right.
So that was really got into it then, and then that was 2014 was really packed with it, and then just kind of went from there.
Yeah. Now, not so. What year did you begin?
I can't remember the years when I was a kid. It was late 90s, probably 97-ish when I first started.
Okay.
But then I was back into it, really into it in 2014.
Okay. Because I know I started 86 ish. Bought my first packs in 87. But like you said, and then I did it for a while, kind of slacked off of it, and then got back into it for a long time. It kind of seems to be a common theme.
Yeah,
But,
I wasn't a thought yet in '87.
okay.
Yeah, that's when I started, was 87. So I had a question, and I guess I never really thought about, I don't know that I've seen you discuss this before, maybe you had. So you had mentioned, you can't really have a panic attack. So is a lot of what you're doing, is it kind of therapeutic for you? Because I've heard a lot of people say that, and even I've mentioned it, card sorting sometimes, it just, you don't really think about anything else. It just kind of takes you into that, and it just kind of puts you in a calming place. Has that been a big part of what's kept you going?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's very, very therapeutic. Like you can almost tell when when I haven't had the time to do the cards, like after work, or if I didn't have time all week to do anything card related, that I just get a little bit more on edge. Like I need to sort, because it almost resorts your thoughts as well.
Yeah, I can see that. And like I said, I've heard a lot of other people say that. So it was just something that you kind of mentioned. And, I do think as a society, we're getting a little bit better about understanding and empathizing with mental health. So it was a fascinating thing. It was really good to hear you say that, because, I don't think I hear it every once in a while, but I think it probably is that way for a lot of people when we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel the same way, because, and a lot of people look at me like I got three heads when I say it, but I mean the sorting part of the collecting is probably my favorite part. I mean, heck, I've bought like boxes of cards just to have something to sort, and not even plan on being set. Uh,
I don't know that I can say it's my favorite part, but I definitely, you get into that zone, and it can just, like I said, it's just kind of relaxing, especially if you're doing it for yourself and it's not something you're feeling like it's a, air quote job.
Well, I mean, and even though you say that, but the first time I ever knew anything about sorting cards and putting them in any kind of numerical order, I had an after school job with a local card shop. That's what I did. But this guy opened cases and cases, in which, now I'm talking about This was back during the 90, 91 pro set score deal where people was opening like, I mean, you could buy a case for $200 back then, you know, and they're opening. And my main job was to sort them all and put them in monster boxes, you know, and I'd sit there and do that for 4 or 5 hours after school and just get in the zone, and you don't think about anything else. I mean, you're looking at numbers, you're sorting, and I can see where that would help with something like that. And now that you mention it, Jenny, I should probably get my wife to help me sort my cards because she gets that way a little bit.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say is after
really
5 or 6.
It was May 14th of 2014, and someone very important to me was in a major surgery, and I couldn't calm down, and my sister was trying to get me to calm down, and ended up opening some 1992 leaf packs that day. And I remember I was bringing them up to my dad because I'm like, okay, this guy is Oil Can Boyd. Like, this is what somebody named their kid, or is this a nickname? And so then I just get talking these cards with my dad because these are players he watched. And it was like, before I knew it, they were out of surgery. Everything was fine. And that's when it was like, wow, that was the one thing that my mind was so distracted that it was the only thing that calmed me down that day. And that's when I really realized this is worth the money no matter what I spend on it.
Right.
It's great to see a couple of the comments that Herman highlighted. Like I said, not a topic we necessarily thought we were going to talk about tonight, but, definitely a recurring thing. Bo and Ed kind of felt the same way. And it's good to see other people, kind of chime in and, agree that it does that. For me, if I'm sorting 4 or 5 hours, I need a massage because my shoulders are killing me by that point. But
oh, definitely. But I mean, your mind is clear though. Because you get focused on it. It's like
I know.
And my wife is so gonna kill me because I'm putting
Kim's just trying to get a free massage.
Yeah, I mean, she's gonna kill me because I'm putting her business out there, but she deals with that herself. Yeah. And when she starts getting these, and hers comes with panic attacks, and when she gets that way, I've dealt with it long enough to know that my main goal is to get her mind on something else.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, I can see where, sorting cards, I mean, your mind, if you're sorting cards, that's where you've got to be concentrating 100% on that, or you're just kind of putting them in piles. You're not really sorting them. So, like I said, maybe that's something I need to get her to do.
I got a whole lot of 87 Tops football over here. If anybody wants to come sort them for me, you just let me know.
Well, I woke up to 16 degrees this morning up here, so I might be heading that way soon.
If the shipping wasn't so much for here and back, I mean, I'd offer my services,
but you'd have to get on an airplane, man.
Yeah. So Jenny, we'll go ahead and get into this. I think, and I thought about this all day today, and I can't remember. I know that me and you have done some trades on Trading Card Database, but I can't remember if we actually met through Twitter and then moved over to the Trading Card, or if we met on Trading Card and then moved over to Twitter. I don't know if you recall. I know you do a lot of trading, but I know we met on Trading Card and we had a couple of big trades. So,
yeah, that's a good question. I guess I don't recall either.
It was one or the other. I can't remember which, but I mean, we traded, my Twins for your Braves, and
yeah, I think we had somewhere around 200 cards each way.
Right. It's and it's got to be, that's outside of sorting. I mean, selling cards and this or that is one thing, but the trading cards, that kind of is the hobby, is trading to me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Trading Card Database is. I mean, I know they offer the ability to sell on there, but I feel like that 99% of the people on there, that's what they're there for. So then that's kind of what led me to it. And I'm sure that with you, it's kind of the same. But when did you start? You said, I think you told us before we went on air, but when did you start fooling with trading card database?
Well, I actually joined in September of 2018.
All right.
And it was a way of tracking my Topps Twins needs so that when I go to card shows, I wouldn't have to keep remembering my notebook. I could just pull my phone up and have the website right in my pocket and know what I needed.
Right.
And then in February of 2020, I thought I'm going to give this a try to do some trades because I was always trading on Twitter. I mean, I'd send Cubs out to Bo and he'd send back Twins, and with tons of people on there, I'd send their team, they'd send Twins, and then you start getting a lot of the doubles and triples. And so I thought, well, I'm going to give this a try because this is, you have your actual want list and your trade list, so you know what you're getting exactly, and so I thought I'll try this. And I think I did maybe 4 trades the month of February. And then all of a sudden, March hit and the whole world shut down. And as you know, I have anxiety. And so I was freaking out. The world is over. I can't leave the house. I'm going to die of COVID. I can't walk outside.
Right.
So my family was like, you got to relax. Just do your cards, do some trades, do what you can to keep busy. And so I did. The most trades I ever did on there was in March and April of 2020, and I probably did somewhere around 200 trades those months. But then the news came out and said, oh, you can get COVID from the mail.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm thinking I can't open these packages because I'm trading with people in New York and Texas and all over the country. So I got a box and I put it in my garage, and that's where all my mail went. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to keep all my mail in there until May 10th, because then it'll give it 11 days to have all the germs die. And then on May 21st, I'm going to open it all on my birthday. So that's the picture I posted earlier today on Twitter, is all that wasn't technically in one mail day in my mailbox, but it was one mail day for me because I opened 2 months worth of trades in one day on my birthday.
A birthday present.
Yep.
Yeah, happy birthday to you.
Right.
It's like a calm sea mail, or it's like a calm sea mail day on speed.
Yep.
And that's kind of
how many trades have you completed on there? I know it's hard to necessarily know how many. Like, what's your feedback or whatever on there? Y'all were talking before the show, and I'm only at like 33. I was on there for a short amount of time. I'm still on there, and I still upload photos, but I don't do any trading. I just don't have enough inventory, and I'm working on selling on eBay. But yeah, so like, how many trades, or what's your feedback on there? Just curious.
Well, actually, on this site, under the transactions, you can find everything all the way back to the beginning. So you do have your completed, which mine is 558 completed. And a lot of that's when the pandemic first started, and then probably the last month or so, because for the last year, I was really slow on there because I was working and just really didn't have the time to commit to it. And then I really got heavy into it probably about 5 weeks ago now again.
500. Wow. That's something. I know that my thing was, and I'm curious, your thought, and then Herman's been on there too. So both of y'all's thoughts. My thing was to make trade worthwhile. Like, I don't want to spend a bunch to ship stuff if the stuff I'm getting back, I wouldn't spend that money on, if that makes sense. So I always either wanted to do like plain white envelope trades where I was sending, trading like 10 for 10, 12 for 12, or I wanted to do like hundreds for hundreds, because then at least it justifies, the, whatever it is, $8 shipping, depending on whatever method you use. Do you kind of go with an approach like that, or you do whatever works for you?
Yep. So I'm basically strictly plain white envelope. I can do, and I don't know if Herman happens to have any around, but what we do, and I learned it through the site, is you cut the 9 pocket pages into 3.
I knew where she was going.
Yep.
I did too.
You can get 9 cards because you can put 3 in each pocket, and then you can slide safely. You can do 18 cards in one plain white envelope. And so what a lot of people will do is if you got 34 cards going, you just do 2 plain white envelopes. So
I will say this, Ken. I don't mean to interrupt you, Jenny.
no, you're good.
This is actually the last trade I received from Jenny, and it's 18 cards, and they're still packed just like she packed them, and they came plain white envelope, and they're all in perfect condition. So
now I've seen that, and I learned from one of the first few trades I did that people sent like that. My mind was blown at 18 because I don't think I ever sent more than like 12 that way.
Yep.
But obviously, there is thicknesses of cards vary, so on and so forth.
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember because like I said, I'd opened it on my mail day video, whether or not if it had cardboard on the sides of it. Do you do that, Jenny?
So I don't do the cardboard because I've actually learned with that it's caused more issues.
Okay.
And a lot of what I know from that is the post office has your non-machinable stamps, and then they have your basic stamps, but there's a lot of times where that non-machinable may go through that machine, or even if you just use the regular stamps, goes through the machine, that cardboard can get hung up. And
yep.
I think Bo was talking about that recently on one of his shows too, where he stopped using the cardboard because he was having more issues with damages that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing as you were talking. I felt like I'd heard Bo say that recently. Yeah, I was doing selling through eBay, so I've started doing player lots, and I've done up to 12 in a plain white envelope. But yeah, I've stopped using the cardboard as well. Now I don't use those. I don't see eBay. A lot of issues with eBay, and I don't think that would fly. But I have been using the semi-rigids and keeping the cardboard out now as well. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying, and then I remember Bo saying that as well.
I think there's a huge difference too with like you say, the eBay, it wouldn't fly. On the trading card database, most of what's going back and forth is going to be your common dime box cards, and they're with collectors. They're not with the guy that's trying to pick up the rookie because he's sending it into PSA. And whereas on eBay, I feel like a lot of that right now is they want to buy it raw to grade it, so they want that thing shipped bubble mailer. And
yep.
I agree that
group of people.
And I agree that those are the people that are on trading card database in general. And there are a few Jagovs on there, but you're going to have that anywhere. But no, I agree. Those are the kind of people that are on trading card database, and let's just call it what it is. Those are my kind of people, much more than like you said, the people that are hoping I'm going to send this Shohei Ohtani and they're going to be able to get it graded a PSA 10 and turn the $3 they spend $50 or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's one thing I love. That's one thing I love about trading card database as much as anything is just that it seems to be a different type of collector on there, and it's the people that I call the the air quote true collectors. So and it sounds like you guys kind of feel the same way on who's on there.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, I mean, if you want the card, you want the card. You don't want the grade. And if you're on trading card database trying to find a 10 or a 9, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Right. And well, back on to the cardboard part. I do use the cardboard. I use a thinner cardboard. I think I showed you last week what I use. But now I'll use that for like 1 or 2 cards when it's still small enough to where I can send it and it can be, machinable or whatever. So far, knock on wood, I haven't had an issue. But now, like what Jenny said, she sent me 18 in a plain white envelope, and they, like I said, they got here perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just to the point where it was thick enough to where I wouldn't have put cardboard around it, but at the same time, I would have been scared to try it until I got that. Now, since I got those, I've sent like 3 out the same way, and both of them has got there, or yeah, 3. All 3 of them got there, and they've been fine. So, you know, that's
So were those 18 sent with a non-machinable, or were they just sent with a normal first class stamp?
I think it was.
Just curious. I mean,
I think
yeah.
it was
No
non-machinable.
big deal.
I don't think
it sent you or the ones you sent out.
No, it's the ones you sent me. This would have had.
That would have went with the non-machinable.
I was going to say it would have had, because it's it would have been at least a quarter of an inch, and that's automatically non-machinable.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was definitely thinking about.
Because
and then what I do too sometimes is I learned this from a guy that lives in Canada that's on there, is because bubble mailers are so expensive to ship across the border, and he was using the big manila envelopes, and he would fill up 3 cards per pocket on the 9 pocket pages, and he would put 2 of the full 9 pages slid into these envelopes. And then I think that was running about maybe $2.10. But then you're also sending about 40 some cards each way. So you stack those 40 cards and put them in a bubble mailer, you're spending $5.50 easily now.
Which is not bad, because just to send a regular plain white envelope to Canada, I think now is like $1.30. So
yeah.
And you know, you're talking about a regular small, and I just did this. The these envelopes here is $1.30.
Yep.
You know, and I had 1 card in it, or 2 cards. So
yeah, so I definitely learned a lot of tricks there for saving, and because like we all know, if you're trading base cards or you're buying base cards, the shipping gets so expensive, especially if you only need 1-2 cards. And a lot of people here, that's their big thing, is they aim to at least have 9 cards going each way so that it's worth the stamp. And
yeah, and that's how I used to look at it. And yeah, I would get people that would just send me like a 1-for-1 or a 2-for-1 or something like that, and I'm like, okay, I got to go look and see, is there more stuff that you actually have on your want list and that I have? And if there is, can I come up with just something else that either I think I can trade easily, or, whatever the case may be, like you said, just to absolutely make it worth your while.
yeah.
Because, yeah, those 1 and 2 card trades, I mean, what are we up to, 58 cents for a stamp now?
Yep.
That stuff adds up real fast. You go, especially when you go and you're just buying like a book of stamps, and you're like, those non-machinables, I think, are like $18 for just a sheet of them, if I'm correct.
Yeah, those went up to 88 cents now.
Well, not only did the price of the first class stamp go up, but the little extra 1-ounce stamp, I think they went up too. So I mean, that's just luckily right before they went up, I had bought 200 of them. So that's like what is it, W coin? I made money. So
like I said, I do think though that's the thing, is you basically, the bigger trades are the better trades when you can make them, just because the per card cost kind of goes down if you can get those bigger trades. But even going back to and then what Diego says there, how much time spent on trading card database to make a good want list. I mean, it is time consuming to get started on trading card database. There's no denying that. But that's no different than if you have an eBay store. We talk Bo in the chat. I mean, he's got however many thousands of cards. He didn't get those in there overnight. That took time to build that up. And it's the same concept. Yeah, I'm still on eBay. My sales are typically just one item. but I'm only up to 300 items. Now, once I get up over, I would anticipate once I get up over 1,000, 1,500, I may start having, bigger sales where people are buying multiple cards. So people like to complain about how much time it takes. It's the legwork up front. But again, just like anything, whether it be you're starting a YouTube channel or you're writing a website, there's just a lot of upfront time. But then once you start to hit that sweet spot where, it's almost running on, autopilot or something like that.
Yeah, and I think I told you, when I first got onto trading card database, and like a lot of people, I was looking for and I think Jenny said the same thing. I was looking for a checklist of what I had and what I didn't have. That I didn't even really think about the trading aspect of it, back and forth. It was just more of a way to log and keep up with what I did have. So I spent probably 3 hours a night for like 2 weeks, just putting in every card I had in my collection, and then went back and took like my extras from sets and stuff like that, and started listing them on there. Well, like I said, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe tops, 2 or 3 hours a night. Uh, but once I had them on there, from that point on, if I bought a blaster at Walmart, I open it up, I go through, I pull what I want out of it, go ahead and just put them on there. Then it takes 5 minutes or less.
Yeah.
And
Once
it's
you,
a lot faster when you're it's a lot faster when you're posting a bunch of stuff from the same set too, just like anything else. I've had the same. I've heard people complain about listing on sport lots takes forever, but it's the same thing. If you're organized, you have all the sets together, it's actually a lot quicker. But if you're trying to, when you start at the beginning, a lot of times, you're hunting and pecking to figure out what you're putting in there, and it is a lot more time consuming. But like I said, once you kind of get rolling, and if Jenny is buying collections and putting that stuff on there, she's organizing it even before she tries to take it to the trading card database.
right, and that's exactly what I did too. And like I said, and you're right, it does make it a lot easier. And a lot of times, and I've shared this before, the way I've set the past years is I've bought like medium flat rate boxes from a guy off Twitter that just sends me everything he doesn't want, and we're talking anywhere from 3,000 to 3,500 cards. Well, first thing I do is sort them out, get them in order, and then as I'm getting them in numerical order and putting them in the box in my monster boxes, as I'm doing that, I'm automatically putting in what I have and how many I don't, how many of them I have. So by the time I get done, they're already on the trading card database. So, and I don't know, everybody's different, and I'm not sure how Jenny does it, but I mean, to me, that just seems like it makes more sense to do it as soon as you get them, as soon as you sort them, before you ever even put them in the box. Go ahead and list them. So.
Yeah, one other thing I think I like about trading card database much is that, what? Even those 1988 tops commons that you have, there's somebody that's got them on that want list. Whether it's because somebody is a newer collector, didn't collect then. Now, does that mean that, you're going to put everything in there and you're going to be able to trade everything in a week? No, it's nothing like that. And there is, work into putting trades together. But I mean, pretty much everything, there's somebody that wants it for some reason. So then it's just a matter of, obviously, you need to marry up, both parties. But yeah, definitely, you talk sport lots, and I've heard people talk about that. I'm using that because it's also kind of a low end site. But if you're not like first to site on new product, if you're not up there within a week or so, you just fall into where you have, there's 195 of this basic common card, and you don't really stand out unless you're a top tier seller that has, thousands, hundreds of thousands of cards. But you can even move that old stuff over time on trading database, in part because you have a lot of team collectors. And I think that's a big aspect of why it's so easy to move stuff that you would otherwise literally throw in the trash, give away, whatever you do with those 1991 Fleer cards.
Well, speaking of 1988 tops here, you said, people have my want list, so I just pull a random one up. Number 26, Mitch Williams. You open it up, it tells you there's 2,906 mentions in collections, so you can click on that. It'll tell you the amount that are in collections, want lists, and for sale / trade lists. 20 people have that card on a want list right now on the site. See, it tells you the member. You can pick one of them. You can click on their page. It's as easy as going to their page, and then there's at the bottom they have trade matching. You can click on that, and it would tell you, here's all the cards that you have on your trade list that they have on their want list, and vice versa. So then if it's even worth proposing a trade to them before you do.
Yeah, one for one's not worth it, but if you can marry up, like you said, 12, 18 cards there that you can put in that plain white envelope, it makes it worth it. And I had mentioned team collectors, but I think what I forgot to mention was set builders too. So that's where, a lot of those commons come in, and they're sitting here thinking, if I can fill these holes in my set and I can give away stuff I don't want, that you don't really get much better of a scenario than that.
Right. I don't know if you guys have seen my tracking. I update it every now and then on Twitter. So since I've started, I've tracked what I've done in trades there. And I've been able to do, out of the 558 trades I've done, I've sent off 13,033 cards, and I've gotten back 7,801 cards. So I've been able to downsize and get 7,801 cards that I actually wanted.
Yep.
Get rid of 13,000 that would have just sat in a box or gone to the Goodwill.
And this is what let's see. This is what Gina was talking about. Right in here, you got you match items to want list on your want list to members for sale trade. Match items on your for sale and trade list to members want list. So I mean, it's
no. Click on the one right above that, trade matching.
Oh, the trade matching. Okay.
Yeah, you've seen that new feature, haven't you?
Oh, actually, I have not seen that.
I have not seen it.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, they just came out with that a couple months ago, where it will put it side by side for you.
Oh man!
So you'll see that guy needs 20 cards you have, and you need 24 that he has.
Right.
Yeah, and if it's the other way, I'm more than happy to trade off 30 cards for 20 I need, like you said, downsize and everything else. Okay, yeah, I have not been on there active trading in a while. I have not seen that feature.
Yeah, they just came out with that because a lot of people were saying that was one of the downfalls of not being able to have a good way to match up with somebody else. And
so
and one of the things that I'd mentioned was time consuming, but I mean, that right there, I mean, that's mind blowing in the amount of time that can save.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes it, then if it's worth even proposing a transaction. And then, like you can see on whoever's page he's on, you can see their feedback. You can look at completed transactions so you know who they traded with, and, or that, because with this, you can leave feedback for anybody. So people could actually just make 100 accounts and leave themselves their own feedback. But you can actually click on completed transactions on their page to see these are the trades they've done and these are the dates they've done it. So, you kind of get a feel for them if it's in question, but you're also trading, at least in my opinion, you're trading $1 worth of cards. If you're new to the site, I'll take the chance.
Yeah. And I will say that I've been on since 2018, 19. I think it was the end of 18 or beginning of the 19. And I've had one transaction to where I didn't get the cards that I should have. The guy ghosted me, wouldn't comment. And I mean, I think I have got, and I'm nowhere near Jenny, but I think I've got like 183 transactions. And, one out of 183 is not bad.
Yeah, especially when you're not trading Fernando Tatis Jr. rookies or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, it's cards that otherwise somebody would put in the box and forget about or throw away or so it's not that big a deal. I would have loved to have had the cards, but I'm not really out anything. So
Yeah, so I saw Zach in the chat says, he likes that, but apparently what that doesn't do is allow you to just like click and be like submit trade offer. That's unfortunate.
oh yeah, I was looking for that. Yep.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's something they need to work on. Because yeah, I mean, how many, it's already right there. Okay, I'm giving away 35 cards. I'm getting 20 back. They're similar cards. I'm not. He's not getting a Bowman first, and I'm getting 1991 Fleers. I'll disparage those again for Bo. Let's do it. Let's not waste time. So that's something they definitely need to. I would feel like they need to work on. But that right there is a great function, as Jenny said, just to even see if it's worth your while.
So when Jenny brought it up, so I had to look. I went back and looked. I matched mine and Jenny's trading card database, and Jenny, you need to post some cards because you've got a few that I need.
I was noticing that the other day. I thought, oh, I have more cards that you need, and we just traded, I think, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But that's how it is too, because right now I think I have 35,000 trade cards listed on there, and I've still got plenty more to add. And so every day I'm adding cards, and then it's popping up more and more what people need. But that's what I love, because it's like these cards can sit in a box here, or they can go be in someone's collection where they're wanted and needed. And
yep. And let me just say that with on the trading card database, well, it's just like anything. You can list a bio and stuff but you can also do quotes. And Jenny's quote should be posted on every hobbyist, anybody that collects cards. This should be like posted, copied, and pasted on their timeline. Building my dream PC one card at a time by cards sparking joy to me, because that's what the hobby is all about.
Yep. In the words of, I can't even remember her name now. It was that Netflix show that came out about tidying up or whatever it was a couple of years ago. She went into people's houses and said, if it doesn't spark joy, you got to get rid of it. And I thought, well, that's my collection then. If the card doesn't spark joy,
that was the holder.
I can't remember what it was. I know exactly what she's talking about, but I can't come up with the name.
She was an Asian. It was an Asian lady.
Yep.
Because she had an episode where she did where a guy had, again, it looked like Bo's basement. Cards everywhere.
Oh, funny, Bo's the one to do the name.
You haven't seen that one, Jenny?
No. No, I just seen like the first 5 minutes of the thing, and I think she was doing clothes, and I thought, well, this is kind of boring, but it was the whole. I remember her saying the spark and joy, and
was it the Asian? Well, it was the Asian lady, right?
Yep, yeah. And then as the saying goes in Minnesota, though, with the clothes, is in February you look in your closet and you put on anything that looks like it might spark because it's that cold outside.
Yep. But yeah, go through the episodes. There's an episode in there where there was a guy that collected sports cards, and guy had, like his basement was wall to wall, ceiling to floor, full of cards, and he was having a really hard time letting go of anything.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
So yeah, Dan has seen it. He says she's a Japanese lady. I was trying to be PC here and just say Asian, but okay. But yeah, it was pretty cool, and that was, I forgot where I think I saw it on Twitter somewhere, and I got on, and it was like the only episode I watched, and I didn't watch some more of them. That was the only one I was interested in. So,
but back to that quote. I mean, that's I go through my spells where I'm like, okay, I'm downsizing again, and that is actually kind of what I say. If it doesn't evoke like a memory or an emotion, if it's just a card and it doesn't really make me think about anything else, do I really need it? And in that case, when you talk, circling back to trading card database, in that case, it's well worth it to me to trade, again, to trade away 40 cards and only get 20 back because they're 40 that don't mean a darn thing to me, but those 20 in some way mean something. So, just kind of circling back, and that's just kind of the way you've looked at it too. And every time I say though that I'm downsizing, I end up upsizing. So I don't know.
Well, I think that's what's easy about the trading card database too, is a lot of the stuff that I would get in these collections, I don't collect that. It doesn't fit in my binders here, but to me, it's good cards. I mean, I don't want to just throw away all these good cards. So how can I get them where they belong? And I tried doing those dime sales, and they were a blast, and they were a lot of work. And I thought
they are a lot of work.
Yeah, it's so much easier on the trading card database here because you upload your stuff as you have the time on your trade list.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's so easy when someone wants to make a trade, they can just match their want list up to your trade list and boom, and it sends over the transaction. You can accept it, you can counter it, or you can decline it. And once it's accepted, it's into your accepted portion of your transactions. And then you can read through, when you're pulling the cards, it tells you exactly what it is, gives you their address right on there. Then once you mail it, you can change it from accepted to package sent, and then it's got the package received and then completed. So it's a nice way of tracking also, whereas on Twitter when I was trading, it was writing it down. I got to send this package to this person at this address, and this is what I got to send. And this just tracks it all right for you.
Yeah, and I have somebody that I worked my last job that he collects, but he's not a big social media person. He's actually on Twitter now, and he'll comment, but he's not, huge into buy, sell, trade. He doesn't really card shows very much because he has some daughters that are very active. But where he is active, and I would bet you, Jenny, I would bet you've traded with him on there. I'm not gonna give his handle or anything, but a lot of what he does, and he's very under the radar. He's not very social media driven, but he's on there, and I know he has made a crap ton of trades since he started on there a handful of years ago. So, you have no differently than you have people that blog, you have people that YouTube, you have people that tweet, you have people on Instagram, and they don't overlap. You also have people on trading card database that really that's their only online presence, at least from a card standpoint. So, it's just another, and like I said, and it's, if this is the way that you collect, that is where a lot of the people that are similar minded, gravitate to. And even though I don't use it actively, obviously I continue here to talk it up is, hey, y'all might ought to consider going over there. There are some people before, but that he got into it this year. And I think he said in the chat he's done like 170 trades this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's a great way, like you said. And I never really thought about it the way you said it, Jenny. But, yeah, getting rid of downsizing because, if you're willing to not necessarily have to trade one for one, downsize and only get stuff you want in return. Okay, so there's another, joined in late February and have completed 206 so far. The time to get your one trade list set up will definitely pay off. Absolutely. It's time consuming up front, but you just got to stick with it like anything else in life.
Well, and one of the features about making your want list too is Matthew, for example, he's on Twitter and on Trading Card Database. He is strictly Royals. That's all he collects. So as he enters in his Royals cards he has into his collection. And then it was as simple as hitting add all the rest of these cards to my want list. So he only had to enter in what he had. He didn't have to spend the time to individually add the cards to his want list. It just was, boom, it added everything else that was Royals that wasn't in his collection onto his want list.
Yep. And
then you don't have to put, like when he gets in 9 Royals cards in a trade, as soon as he marks that trade completed, it'll automatically put the cards from it'll put them from his want list to in transit once they're mailed. And then once they're completed, it puts them right into his collection. So you don't have to sit and go through, find those 9 cards and move them over. It moves them all for you.
And that's the
Yeah,
great thing about it. So it takes a lot of the work out of it. I mean, once you make the trade, you don't have to worry about the card anymore. It goes through stages up to the point where you get them, and then you don't have to go back and worry about checking them off your checklist. It does it for you. But yeah, it's funny that you mentioned Matthew because this was some Braves cards that we just traded for, and of course, I sent him a stack of Royals. So
Yeah.
and so one thing I was thinking about is,
Oops.
go ahead.
I was just going to say quick, it does the same thing with your trade cards too. So once I put them on my trade list and then somebody sends me an offer, once I've accepted that offer, it takes that card from my trade list and puts it in a transaction so nobody else can send the trade so it can't get doubled up. And then once I've mailed it off, it takes it right off my trade list. So I don't even have to worry about removing the cards that I've sent in the mail.
Yep.
So I was going to say, as you were talking, you were talking about the process of, how all he has to do is, go find Royals, ones that aren't on his list, and add those. So if somebody was going to start from scratch, and I'm interested to think or to hear if you all agree with this, like if you were literally to sign up tonight and tomorrow you were going to start, I feel like the best thing to do is focus your time on not adding to your want list. Start adding the traders, the stuff you have to trade away, because that, I don't know how to say it, but I guess that's the most important. You can always add, oh, hey, I want this, I'm going to add this, but that doesn't do you any good if you don't have anything to trade. So I feel like starting with what you have to trade. Oh, hello, here comes Stella. I feel like what you have to trade away is probably where I would think anybody should start, but I'd be interested to hear y'all's opinions.
Yeah, I would definitely start with the trade list, because the other thing it does too is you can sign up where every day you can get an email that says, hey, we found matches for you. You have these cards on someone's want list, and you have these cards on your want list that are on someone's trade list. So what could happen if you do all your want list cards is other people will start getting, hey, this guy wants this card, but then they come to check it out, and if you don't have anything to trade, they may not cycle back in another month or so when you do have a set trade. You know what I mean? They see your username and they might say, well, I tried that, but there was nothing listed to trade.
Yep.
And then on the other end too, if you get the notification that, hey, this guy, you have third cards for that he has, even if you don't have your want list, you can still go search his traders, in whatever way you want. You can still complete a trade that way without it necessarily doing a match. But you already know, hey, I can get rid of these 30 cards and just do the little bit of work of, hey, these are what I want to get in return, even if you don't have that part of your list set up. So I feel like it can actually get you going faster if you set up the stuff you have to trade first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if that kind of goes to it. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the other thing too, when you're new, is you can add your Twitter handle onto your trading card database site. So that way, that's what I did when I first started. I sent a small offer of 5 base cards to a guy, and I said, hey, I know I don't have any feedback here. Here's my Twitter. Feel free to ask around over there. I've done lots of trades there. And he said, I'm not worried about it, but it was nice to be able to link that, because I had all this trades I've done on Twitter. I had just never done it there. And now it's to the point I have 453 positive feedback here. So it's not so necessary, but it was nice when I started out.
Yeah, and I mean, the reality is that somebody listening to this, you probably know us. So go in there and add us on there as people So there's that as well. I mean, pretty sure it'd be pretty easy to figure out what Herman's user ID is on there. It'd be pretty easy to figure out what mine is on there. So, go ahead and add those people too. And, if nothing else, if I see that somebody I don't know has interacted with you guys, then I get that just a little bit more of a warm feeling that, everything's going to be okay and turn out all right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the good thing about, and I think Jenny does the same thing. Her Twitter handle is the same as her trading card database. It's the same as mine, which I try to use mine the same across the board as much as possible. So just for that reason, because you have the crossover of, if you try something new and somebody comes up and they're like, well, I don't know you, we don't know this. I'm like, well, go here and you can see where I've had X amount and no problems or whatever. Same with like eBay and anything else. So
Yeah, I'm
hey,
the same
so,
way. Other than, of course, my Twitter handle is other than my Twitter handle, of course, because I couldn't get the final three letters in, so it's just Beans card blog. But yeah, same thing. I'm the same thing here as I am on eBay, as I am on Trading Card Database. Sport Lots is different because you only get like 8 characters or something there, but I'm not selling on there either, so it's really not a big deal.
yeah, I don't do. I do sport lots, but I wouldn't sell on sport lots.
I was gonna do the math before the show and I forgot to, because you guys say Sport Lots is roughly 18 cents for a base card.
Yeah, that's the minimum.
Okay, so I was just trying to figure out, we can send over on the trading card database, trade in 9 cards for 58 cents with a stamp. So I was just curious, that I didn't know the full math of the 18 times the 9, but I know it's cheaper this way, where you're still spending doing the trading because you're paying the postage, but you're getting a better deal too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I will say this: when I started my the Braves binder project, I started with the intention of trying to, for the most part, as much as possible, complete it on the trading card database. And I did get, a pretty decent start uh, in there, but I've kind of reached the point where it's dried up there, and I did have to move to sport lights to try to finish some of them. So
Yeah. Well, and then too, it's more than just the base over there. I was just thinking as I'm looking at it in front of me, the update series came out with the Miguel Sano Byron Buxton card, which I absolutely love. So I'm after all the variations of it.
mm-hmm.
And the red ice variation, serial numbered out of 199, I got that in a trade on trading card database for 55-cent stamp.
Right.
Like, some of these serial numbered cards that you may not find elsewhere, you can find on the trading card database even.
Yep. So, and you mentioned Miguel Sanyo, and I cannot remember who it was that told me that I needed to ask you about your Miguel collection.
Well, I'm currently rated the #1 Miguel Sano collector on the trading card database because, of course, that's another feature on here is you can go to either a team or a player's name and rank yourself among other collectors on the site collecting that team or player.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have the most unique Miguel Sano cards on the trading card database, currently at 371 different cards, but ultimately I have over 10,000 of his cards total. So if he ever becomes a huge star and his rookie card is like Mike Trout value, I'm cashing out.
I was gonna say that happens. We ain't gonna see Jenny online ever again. She's gonna be living on an island somewhere. She's gonna own an island.
I have one binder that's literally just his rookie cards. I have probably 3,000 of them.
Yep. And I'm trying to remember where that. I know I've saw it, but where you see how you rate with your collection.
Yeah. So, can you pull it up on screen and just do the Braves?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and just show. Let's see. Let me go ahead and pull it up because I've got, and I don't know how you do yours, but I've got about 20 collections on my trading card database because I have my regular baseball sets, and then I have my Freddie Freemans and Dale Murphys and stuff like that, all separated.
Yep.
Just, I don't know. It just makes it a little simpler for me. But like I said, I got my main collection, which is anything other than Braves and Freddie Freeman's, and then baseball sets. And then the Braves, that's my binder set, Freddie Freeman,
Yeah.
Dale Murphy. And they also have all my for sale and trades are in a separate sorting. So,
Yeah.
but say like, all right, let's say Atlanta Braves.
Yeah. And that's one of the features too, is everything on this site is member done. There is an admin for the site, but he really doesn't do a lot with it. And people can enter in values of cards, they can enter in photographs. And so, like when you open up your Atlanta Braves finder, it'll tell you that's how many cards you have. That's the value of your cards that you have.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also that fluctuates because it's, when a card first came out, it might have been worth, $20, and then it dropped in value, but nobody ever went and updated the card itself. But it does give you kind of a ballpark idea of what you have. But yeah, so when you're on, so you're going too far ahead. Go back to the Atlanta Braves. So click on the baseball where it's your collection. Now, now browse by team.
Well, that's where I'm at now.
Yep. So
Set
go
teams.
down to teams, and then Atlanta Braves, and then scroll down.
Ooh, look right here. Ooh.
Yeah, but it'll show you where you rank among everybody else if you go down further. Yep, right there under reports, ranking among other members collecting this team. And then that one takes a minute or so to pull up, but it will show you like you're the X amount of number on collecting Braves on the trading card database. And
I don't know why my computer's being so slow right now, but it is.
That hamster is running real slow in there.
Ain't it?
this one always takes a while, at least on my end, when you want to rank. I think it's just pulling so much info or something.
Well, I mean, I like this right here.
Yep.
Is it slow when it's player, or is it just this slow when it's team?
When it's the player too. When it does the ranking, it slows down quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Because I've done the player before and didn't feel like it was super slow. But then again, probably the players I'm collecting that I'm looking at that on, I'm really the only one that's collecting them. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm the number one Russ Davis collector on Trading Card Database.
Yep.
But that's like being the skinniest guy at Fat Camp.
Well,
insert Jeopardy theme.
All
I'm
right.
going to look up who's collecting Russ Davis. Who's that? Baseball?
Yes. Yeah, I'm definitely the number one on that. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Well, it's like me. It's like my Rick Kemp collection that I don't ever speak of. I mean, since how that, and I don't think he ever had but like 32 cards ever made, period. And I own all 32 of them and duplicates of some. I've got to be the number one collector.
You're at worst, you're tied, right?
At least at the worst, I'm tied for first. So, all right, we'll just.
Yeah, you're definitely the number one Russ Davis collector with 260 cards.
And he's only got what, like 300 something?
320.
Yeah, I'm pretty
The
close.
guy behind you has 85 of his cards.
Who does?
GY11 is his username. He's got 85.
Oh, he's the number two?
Yep.
Sorry, I missed that. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I don't think
there's tons of features. Really, you could talk about this site for hours because it's.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good site, even if you don't trade. I mean, there's a lot of people that use this site that don't
for
use
a checklist.
Yeah, checklists and
like I said, that's how I got started, was for the checklist and just a way to store what I already had and keep up with it. It wasn't until I got into that I learned about the other part of it. So, but and I've thought about when we got talking about this. I've actually got somebody on my friends list on the trading card database that they claim to be an admin. I've thought about reaching out to see if maybe we can get them on here one day and just kind of, maybe get more of the ins and outs of what goes on.
That'd be good. I'd be good with that.
Right.
So I may reach out. I actually tagged them in the show post and hoping that somebody would reply, but we'll see.
Hey, they gave it a retweet.
They did. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
All right, well, Jenny, we have surpassed our hour mark with no problem tonight. So.
And we didn't have to talk about chickens.
No, we didn't have to talk about chickens. Sorry, Dan. Well, Jenny, I appreciate you coming on. Before we go, if you want to share your, any links or social medias you have, feel free. I'll list them in the description of the video as well. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everybody knows how to find me.
Yeah,
I'm not too hidden.
See, I think I've got it here somewhere.
No, I was just seeing too in the chat. I was glancing quick. I haven't really been able to watch it tonight because I can't multitask like that. If I start reading the chat, I won't register what you guys were saying. But I just see, so many trading card database questions, and I just thought, maybe it would be a good hobby roundtable too, or hobby hotline.
Yep.
Sit and
Would.
chat and answer questions and.
Yeah, because I mean, there's definitely a lot of people that use it. I mean, that's evident by the amount of trades and or the want list finds that I have come through every night. So
yeah,
and like I said, that's another great feature. But you don't even have to do anything on there, and it'll do it for you. It comes up and tells you that you have something in your collection that somebody else wants, and somebody else has something that you want. So.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, Jenny, like I said again, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll go ahead and end it right here. Great night. We may pick this up another time if we can possibly get somebody from Trading Card Database on here.
All right. Yes. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, guys, take care. Thanks for joining. We'll see you again next Monday. Give us a like, subscribe, and comment with any questions, and we'll do it.
Have a great Thanksgiving.
Yep. Have a great
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right. Be safe and take care.